We love to catch you up on great things that are happening here in Central Iowa, and that also includes the music scene. So we're bringing in Chad Taylor from band Bombshell to give us just that. What's the info on the local music scene? Good morning, Chad.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Great.
Good.
Thank you for joining us. What could we expect if we're heading out to listen to some live music this weekend?
It's always nice to see Brent in the morning because he's clearly not a morning person. So this is
Does it always look like a struggle? I feel like I'm faking it well enough, but no. Sometimes right before the break, I'm like, just one more cup of coffee. I think I go through 6 or 7 of these puppies in the morning. But guys, I'm happy to be here. Always happy to see you, Chad.
Well, it's good to be here. I suppose we'll start with the biggest news that was announced earlier in this week. 1033 Laser has announced that Laserfest is done. No more Laserfest.
Is this really a surprise, though?
It's not a surprise at all.
In the last couple of years.
Yeah, no. And actually, I would say this is good news for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
The one most obvious being that it's really been a subpar product for the last couple of years, which has been a combination of not finding a venue that really fits for the thing, and then also Clear Channel just kind of assigning less and less money to it, so just not being able to draw in the acts that they can. And it's one of those kind of perpetuating circles where when you don't draw in the audience, it's hard to draw in the bands to kind of play, and then no one wants to come see the band you can get. So it's been kind of on a downward trend. But more indirectly, what this means is that over the last few years, Central Iowa, Des Moines specifically, has gotten really good at doing these mid-level festivals. And so the success of things like 515 Alive, Hinterland, 8035, the fact that those guys can consistently draw in this 10 to 30,000 people range means that if you're going to do a festival in this town, you've got to do it right. And in the last few years, the folks over at Lasers haven't been able to do it right, and it's shown in the product, it's shown in the turnout.
They did at one time.
At one time, Laserfest was the game in town.
Right.
Yeah, its first few years down at Waterworks Park, it was a huge festival because really it was the first of its kind. It was the only festival in town that was doing that, kind of bringing in these large touring acts, kind of doing a multi-stage, multi-day event. It was really kind of a groundbreaking festival when it first started. And so, on one hand, from a nostalgia standpoint, it's sad to see it go. But again, it's only leaving us because we've gotten really good at doing this now. If you're still a metal fan and you're looking for that kind of a festival situation, the guys with the band Apathy Syndrome have started this festival called a Carnival of Thorns that is in its 3rd year now, which is a slowly growing festival. So there's still going to be that kind of metal festival there that's going to hopefully start kind of growing and being able to draw in those national acts as well. So there's still going to be a niche for that. But in the meantime, if you're just a fan of festivals, there's plenty of festivals now in Central Iowa that they're going to kind of fill that gap. And I would expect to see those to continue to grow and improve as we just get better and better at doing this.
There's a ton of music fests here in town.
There really, really are. And if you expand it out to just Central Iowa or even just the state in general, you start getting into like Youth Orchestra has their right. festival and where does that go? It's
a little northeast.
Yeah, a little northeast town. And there's tons of festivals. Riverbank Bash does their kind of stuff. So there's all over the state. There are festivals all summer long.
Has Laser said if they're going to pick up and try it again or do something different, or they're just like, we're not touching this for a while?
The initial response is that no, that Laserfest as we know it is done. I doubt I'd even see the name come back. Of course, they're still going to be throwing their weight around and kind of sponsoring individual shows that come through town, and they're going to still continue to be heavily involved in the local music scene. But as to a large event kind of festival like this, I wouldn't be surprised if actually this is probably the last kind of radio station sponsored festival that we've seen. KIOA used to do the Party in the Park. Star had one for a while, and they've just the cost to benefit analysis, I think, for these corporate radio stations just isn't there
anymore.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last of the radio station sponsored festivals.
Okay.
Moving forward, local band Dead Horse Trauma, who are some of the hardest workers in town. These guys have, their social media presence is on point. Their fan base is rabid. They do a great stage show. These guys work the business end of being a band better than perhaps anybody else in town.
Dead Horse Trauma.
And if you haven't seen them, they're a really great live show. If you're into metal music, they have one of the best live shows that you'll ever see. But they're getting ready to do a new tour this summer, and so to help raise money for that, they're taking donations at dhttour.com/PTO. tour tee. And the reason why that tour tee is on the end is because if you donate $20, you get a free t-shirt for the upcoming tour. So it's kind of a nice way to kind of, you get a little perk for throwing them some money to help them fund this summertime tour. So that's always a good time. Check that out. Check out their Facebook page. Couple of shows coming up this weekend. IPR Studio One has Jim Vinner in. Jim is the drummer for, he was with Diplomats of Solid Sound. He's been with Brother Trucker for the last few years. He's probably the best drummer in the state. He's phenomenal. And now he has his own band, Jim Viner's incredible B3 band. The B3 comes from, it's run by a couple of B3 organs, so which helps develop a lot of the sound. He's got some great musicians playing with him. He's got a CD that he's releasing. He's going to be playing some tracks off of that on IPR.
Where's this located?
That show's at the basement over at the the Social Club. Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
And if IPR's got them on, they're a great barometer. Every time they have a Studio One, I think I've heard it or parts of it, and they're all excellent.
Yeah, no, they don't pick lousy bands for that. It's really, like you said, it's a good yardstick for the quality of the band, because they really curate that really well. So that's actually happening tonight, 7 p.m. You can get down there.
Blast.
It's all ages and it's free, so it's a good chance to get down there and kind of check out some new music. Always a good chance to get down there. One last show to talk about this Saturday up at Lefty's. We've got, I really enjoy, because there's so few of them that are performing in town. I really enjoy seeing shows that focus on female performers, and this is just one of those shows. You've got Ray Faring, Bessie West, Sarah Routh, Amy Turpening, and JC all playing up at Lefty's.
I wish there was some talent in the Routh family, but
I know, right? Those Rouths,
We've
those
had
guys.
quite a few of those performers in our studio, and they are fantastic.
They're all phenomenal. They're all great singer-songwriters, and Lefty's, I can't stress it enough. If you haven't been to Lefty's for a show,
it's a great venue.
It's the best sound system in town. It's a good-looking place. So get up there and check that out. That's going to be this Saturday, 9 p.m., $7 gets you in the door there. So that's what we got for you this week.
Thank you, Chad, so much for catching us up on the music scene. If people want more information, where can they go?
BandBombshell.com, new stuff every day, and I'm in City View every week.
Perfect.